What if the man most responsible for Rome's greatness wasn't a conqueror, but a king of peace? We all know the legends of Roman generals and their mighty legions, but the true foundation of the empire might have been laid by a ruler who never once led an army into battle. This is the untold story of Numa Pompilius, the king who transformed Rome not with the sword, but with wisdom. After the chaotic and violent end of Romulus, Rome's legendary founder, the city was at a crossroads. It was a city born of conflict, and its future seemed destined for more of the same. But instead of choosing another warlord, the Senate looked outside its walls to a man renowned for his piety and justice, a Sabine named Numa Pompilius. He was reluctant to take the crown, preferring a life of quiet contemplation. But the Romans insisted, and Numa's acceptance would change the course of history forever. Where Romulus had shaped Rome through war, Numa would shape it through peace. His first and most enduring reforms were religious. He understood that a shared sense of the sacred could unite a city far more effectively than fear. So, he established Rome's most important priesthoods. He created the office of the Pontifex Maximus, the high priest who would oversee all religious matters. He brought the sacred order of the Vestal Virgins to Rome, tasking them with keeping the eternal flame of the city alight. He also appointed the flamens, priests dedicated to specific gods like Jupiter, Mars, and Quirinus. To give structure to this new religious life, Numa created the very first Roman calendar. He divided the year into 12 lunar months, carefully marking which days were for business and which were for religious festivals and rituals. This wasn't just about scheduling holidays, it was about weaving the divine into the fabric of daily Roman life. The city now had a rhythm, a shared cycle of worship and celebration that bonded its people together. Perhaps Numa's most powerful symbol of his reign was the Temple of Janus. Janus was the two-faced god of beginnings and endings, of doorways and transitions. The doors to his temple were to be open in times of war and closed in times of peace. Throughout Numa's entire 43-year reign, those doors remained firmly shut. It was a constant, visible reminder to every Roman that they were living in an unprecedented era of tranquility, a stark contrast to the city's violent birth. But Numa's influence wasn't limited to the temples. He believed that a just society was a strong society. He took the existing laws, which were often harsh and based on superstition, and began to codify them based on principles of justice and fairness. He promoted social harmony by organizing the citizens into guilds based on their trades, carpenters, musicians, goldsmiths, and more. This encouraged people to identify with their profession rather than their ethnic background, helping to merge the originally separate Roman and Sabine populations into a single, cohesive community. He also championed agriculture as the cornerstone of Roman life. He saw that a society of farmers, tied to their land and working for their own prosperity, would be more stable and peaceful than a society of warriors constantly seeking plunder. By emphasizing farming, he not only ensured the city's food supply, but also instilled values of hard work, discipline, and a deep connection to the land qualities that would define the Roman character for centuries. So, while emperors and generals like Caesar and Augustus would later steal the historical spotlight with their epic conquests, their empire stood on a foundation built by Numa. He was the quiet king who taught Rome how to worship, how to govern, and how to live in peace. His legacy isn't found in triumphal arches or captured territories, but in the rituals, laws, and core values that quietly guided the world's greatest empire from its very beginning. He proved that true lasting strength isn't always forged in the fires of war, but can be cultivated in the quiet fields of peace. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into a forgotten chapter of Roman history, do not forget to like this video and subscribe for more stories that you won't find in the usual textbooks. See you next time.